Hi everyone, welcome along to today's video. So this one is to do with music today. Now, when CDs came out back in the late 80s and through the 90s, everybody went quite mad. This was a great news source. You didn't get no clicks or pops. The sound was pretty good, and even a lot of my friends actually were so overblown. They were all vinyl addicts like me at first, but they all went for the CDs. To the point that some of my mates actually sold all their record collections, and they had loads, and bought them in CD versions instead. Yeah, what a mistake. Now, I was never sure that CDs actually sounded better than records, but then I was playing it through what called a Lynn Sondek record deck, which is one of the upper market record decks that gets the most out of your vinyl. Now, if you had a lesser deck that wasn't so high quality, I'm pretty certain the CD was probably beating it in sound quality. So it's very easy to kind of get hung over onto the CD thing. They were nice and small, square little compact things. The records were massive, you know, although they were better now we know. And people loved to read all the inscriptions on them now that you couldn't read on the CD because you had a magnifying glass. So what am I on about here? Well, now we find that back then, in those 80s and 90s, records could be found in any charity shop, anywhere, on record boot fair stalls for a very, very cheap price. You're talking about £1, £2. You could pick up some really good bargains, fantastic records, unmarked, a lot of them, for a great price, because people were just getting with them. And when people don't want a thing, the value goes down and down and down. So, come today, the last 10 years, and what's happened, record decks and records are back in fashion. Records that really decided now, the punters and our critics, that they were better all along than CDs. They made a bit of a mistake. So we all fell for the marketing ploy, bought CD players, and some of us have still got them. I've still got mine, CD player, and this is where this is leading to, is that now things are the other way around. A record could cost you anything from £15 to £25, maybe even £30 for one record. Okay, so back in the day that would never have been that price. Even before CDs came along, in value terms that would be more like about £5 in comparison with a 25 today. So where does this leave us? Well, things have now turned around, and you will now find CDs in charity shops. Yeah, hundreds of them. They're usually no more than £1 a go, because everybody's bought these CDs back, don't want them anymore, and they are a very, very good price. I've seen them even for 50p in some shops. So what's happening here? Well, streaming has come along, the likes of Spotify has appeared, and a lot of people are using Spotify. Virtually everything is on there. I know there's a few bits that aren't there, but all music is there, and you can get what you want when you want. So why bother with CDs? Well, I can tell you that the quality of Spotify still isn't as good as a CD. Okay, there's a few high-res streaming sites out there that are very, very good, that stream at a higher quality than CDs, but at the end of the day they cost you a lot of money. I'm talking about 20 quid a month or more. Okay, so it's very expensive to do that option. So what's the best bet now? Well, okay, you might say, go and get some of those CDs back out of these pound shops, and that is exactly what I'm doing, but I wasn't before my CD player broke. It broke about a year ago, and I always used the digital output from the back of the CD player into a DAC. That's called a digital audio converter. It's kind of like a streaming device. Mine's a Cambridge Audio one. Look on their site if you want to read all about them, and basically it converts the signal for you, and you get a better quality out of the DAC than you do using the CD player's own electronics. So the player broke, and I didn't renew it for a while. I was going to get another player because I still got lots of CDs at home. I thought I still play them. They're not that bad. They're not as good as the record, but they're pretty good, and they're up against the streaming. Still better than Spotify, although not quite as good maybe as the higher res streaming sites, but still pretty good. And that's when I come across a friend who had just a CD player. By that I mean no electronics in it, no digital converter in it, just the player, the kind of mechanism and obviously the actual mechanics to get the CD rolling, but all sound was taken care of by your own DAC, DAC digital converter. So what we're looking at here was basically a thing we know that seems a bit odd, but no, apparently the quality can make a massive jump by using one of these CD players with no electronics in it and feeding it into a digital converter. Now I've already got my Cambridge CX2 model, so I've been playing with that. I've had that a couple of years, and I do stream stuff quite often, and it's good quality. So I've also been streaming obviously the CD, but it didn't still sound much better than anything I could stream, to be honest. So a friend of mine said try one of these, so I borrowed his, and a revelation. The CD suddenly jumped up in quality by a large amount. Now normally to get this sort of leap in quality you'd have to pay a lot of money in hi-fi terms to get quite such a big jump in sound quality. Now the CD was sounding up almost virtually level to my record deck, the Lin, without the scratches and ticks and pops of course, but basically it had tranced all the streaming sites. It was better by far. So I immediately went and bought one of these things. Now I bought one to match my existing Cambridge Audio streamer, so that they matched and looked all right. And I have to say, I've come back home with this thing. I've had it a few months now, and it does sound so good. It's unbelievable, really. So I've been in all the charity shops of late, picking up stuff that normally I wouldn't have bought. I may have missed back in the 80s, because when CDs were at the height, you could pay 15 quid for a CD, couldn't you? It was a lot of money. To now they're £1 or 50p. I don't mind spending £1 because it's going to a charity anyway. I'd rather spend the £1 than even bother to listen to it on Spotify first, which I could do. But when I come across something in a charity shop now, yeah, I'll try that. I mean, there's been a few I bought them. No, that wasn't as good as I thought it was, and chucked them away. But I'm not talking about the quality, but maybe the music, I didn't actually like it, you know, that's all. But you get a chance to try out new stuff. So it's all come round in a massive big circle, and now with the advent of these CD players without electronics in, with nothing, they're just basic players, the CD has took another jump back and another swipe at vinyl. I'm not saying it's going to beat vinyl still. I still love my vinyl sounds. It's a different sound from vinyl. Okay, it's a warm-hearted sound, but I have to say the CD has made a terrific jump, and I do believe it beats, well, definitely Spotify, because it doesn't stream at higher rate than a CD would anyway, and definitely equals or passes by quite a way the high-res streaming sites. So there you are, just something I thought I'd fill you up on. You know, it's a bit interesting if you're into music. For those of you who aren't, I'm sorry I bored you. No, it's all good. Makes a change from my plumbing videos for a little bit of a break from them. Okay, that's about it though. Tell me what you think. Nice with your comments in the bottom boxes below here. Am I going to hear those? Oh, okay, write them down. Okay, that's about it though. See you next time, guys. Bye bye.